I was thinking, how am I going to start this? But I think talking about how am I going to start this might actually be the start of it.
That's a good way to start, to be fair.
If that makes any sense. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever Stark Stock podcast with the first ever guest, MajorMcDonalds. Yay!
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Yeah.
Like if someone comes up to you and says, what you do, like what's the easiest way to explain, like what do you do?
That is an interesting question because, I mean, it happens to all content creators regardless of what you do. I guess my answer is quite simply what it is: content creator, making content. It does sound a bit weird to say out loud, I think, sometimes. And people are like, what does that actually mean? And you have to go in to explain, like, hey, I make YouTube videos, I stream on Twitch, I do all this kind of stuff. So yeah, it sounds weird, and then you've got to go and explain what Twitch is and sometimes what YouTube is, or like how that even works or whatever. Yeah. And it's a never-ending cycle, and basically everyone you ever encounter will probably ask you this, unless they're maybe of our generation. But yeah, that's the short answer. It's hard to explain, and sometimes it does feel weird to say out loud, but I guess the more you do it, the more you get used to it. So what about you? What do you say?
The crazy thing about content creation is that like it's gonna be a norm. Like in my mind, give it another 5 years. Like it's already crazy how like digital and how much like TikToks and Instagrams and shorts and YouTube videos and all that. Like people, like the kids nowadays, they grow up. I work with kids on my everyday job. Mm-hmm. And like the amount of digital content they see is just crazy. And they obviously make the shorts and all the TikTok dances and whatnot. Like it's gonna be a norm. Like, oh, you're a content creator. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, me too. Like it's gonna be norm. I mean,
businesses are content creators at this point. They're already businesses create content. Businesses pay someone else to create their content. Businesses create something of some manner to put online for other people. So yeah, you're right. Everyone's going to be a content creator. Every business is going to be a content creator. Every random person walking on the street is going to be a content creator. I mean, if you use Snapchat or something once, technically you're a content creator. So
yeah, straight away. Yeah, but when people hear content creation, they're like, okay, so you sit down, record, film, upload. But content creation is actually so much more, like setting up cameras, setting up recorders, like all the tech that goes into it. Like all the communications. For example, for you, probably I would imagine even like employees or like I don't know, partners to work with. Like it's not only just to sit and smile in the camera sometimes.
I mean, yes, for the biggest creators, they always have a team around them. I mean, everyone knows Mr. Beast. His team, it is absolutely huge. Obviously, I'm not to that degree, but I do have people who, you know, as I've expanded and realized, okay, how can I save myself time? How can I be better in this certain area? Let's divide and conquer. Let's give this person this to do because I know he's better at it than me. Let's give this person this to do. He's better at it than me. I'll pay this person to get this from them so I can make my stuff better. So I've done a lot of things over time, and I now work with regular thumbnail designers. I work with people who are historians who like to do research of videos. I've even talked to some editors in the past, and I'm looking to hire one of those at some point. It's difficult, that one, because obviously that's to do with, you know, making sure the style is correct and how you want it, but also good for YouTube, and that, you know, it's a lot of interview process and try and make sure like your team is sorted. I mean, doesn't just stop there. Like if you have a Discord server, perhaps you have a team of people there. If you have
that's actually one Twitch, thing we're going to be talking about. Yeah, that's one thing we're going to be talking about. You managed to touch on the editing bit and thumbnail designs and all that stuff. I've got that point way down the line, but since we are here, what are your relationship with editing?
That is an interesting question. So at the start, I really enjoyed doing editing and like fiddling around with things. Nowadays, I find it a bit more of a chore to start. But when I actually start on the video, start doing the editing, I kind of can't stop. I'm like, okay, what about this? What about this? What I could add this tiny thing in. So the upcoming videos, like when I put a ton of editing in, I mean, some of them I put a lot less in because they're more like, I need to get this out quickly. Others are more, okay, I can take my time on this. There's no deadline. There's no rush. Might as well make it as high quality as possible, at least to the degree that I can. They take a lot longer. And as a result, they're the ones that I'm like, okay, this is the thing which I kind of dread starting because I know it's going to take me multiple days, maybe weeks, even if I put way too much effort into it, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist myself, so I spend ages like watching the same thing back, like, oh, what can I add here?
That's the worst. Like looking back multiple times where you've edited, I'm in the group of people that the more times you watch, the less you like it.
Yes, that is true. In fact, I bet you right now, if any content creator listening to this, or even you yourself, if you go back and watch your first ever video you ever made, you are cringing so hard to that. I promise you, that's guaranteed. It happens to everybody. You're like, oh God, no, I don't want to watch this again.
You know what's hilarious? You say that about the first videos. Interesting fact, like back down the line, I think it's like 2020. It was just after the new year. I think it's 2021, like January or something. The game that we're going to be touching on, flying a P-51 in Normandy, I'll watch back that video of my flying skill, what I'm saying, what I'm doing. It's cringe to the heavens and back, right? And I don't know why, but the algorithm decided, yeah, this one, 90, like just under 100,000 views.
Yeah.
And I was like, and like 2-3 years later, obviously people know how the game works now. And they were like, oh, but you can do this, you can do that. I was like, guys, I was a green potato back then. Like, please see when the video is uploaded. Like it was ages ago. I had no idea what I'm doing. It's crazy. And the algorithm was like, yeah, this one, we'll take it. It's just crazy.
It's the same story with my video, actually. My first ever one, I think, is sitting on close to 200K, maybe a bit more than that. I can't remember. And that was the first video I ever made, but looking back at it, I still cringe. Like 200,000 people have watched that video, and I'm like, but like, why? I kind of look back at it like, why? Why would you sit through this?
Exactly. It is crazy. Okay, so we've skipped the one. I had an interesting one. I think may have heard. What's the origin of the nickname? Where does that come from?
The origin of Major McDonald's, right? Yeah. So that name is a name that I've been using for many, many years before I found and listed, obviously. I honestly think it might have been either Roblox or Minecraft back in like 2010 or 11, I reckon, when I started calling myself this. You know, I wanted to have some kind of alliteration, but also like a military rank name, and then like something that fit on the side that was comedic, but also snappy and memorable. And
definitely memorable.
Yeah, I mean, that's that. Somehow it's worked out like that. But I also, for some reason, I came onto the idea of like privates and majors and captains, that kind of thing. And as for the military rank, and I was thinking, what could go after it? And I remember, I think it's my sister at the time who suggested, who was also about my age and making a Minecraft account, called something completely different, by the way, but suggested like McDonald's as a name. I was like, Major McDonald's, that actually kind of fits. And we also like fiddled around with a bunch of others like Private Pizza Hut or Brigadier Burger King, that kind of thing. A bunch of different names. Colonel KFC was also one that I remember looking at. So that one of those could have been my name.
So it literally comes from like a food place instead of like a last name somewhere in America.
The funny thing is, it didn't just come from that. It did also come from like, because I knew someone at the time, and one of my good friends was called McDonald. So as a surname. So I was thinking this would be quite funny because I used to play Minecraft with him as well. So I was like, if I call my name after him, like he'll be like, yo, that's insane. So that was partially the thinking as well.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of things that went into it. And yeah, that's where Major McDonald's was born.
I think it sounds so good because it's the double M's, and the one that you just mentioned with the KFC, the double K's. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that makes it. It's kind of catchy and it fits in very well. And then at the same time, it's just memorable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't know I'd become a content creator a bit further down the line, so I guess it just works for both purposes.
Right. So the next thing we're going to swiftly move, I'm just going to mention the fact that you are a partner for a game called Enlisted, but we're going to get into the game itself a little bit further down the line. British being yourself, football is a thing in your life.
Yes. A very big part of it, yes.
Yeah. So the things, I believe you play football. Do you play football?
Yes, I do. I used to play.
What level are we talking?
I was only ever an amateur. I played since probably when I was like 4 years old, still to this day. So, I mean, borderline 20 years at this point. I played in various academies of like
Nice.
some football teams. I mean, not huge ones you would have heard of, not Premier League teams, but
I mean, if you mentioned some of them, I might have heard of. Like, I've lived 6 years in UK myself, so I might have heard some things.
I mean, most of them were like around my local area or like around my region. So I mean, I was in the. I was always born and bred in like the southeast of England, south of the UK, so around like the Croydon area. I mean, I won't like completely dox myself, but some of the football teams around there.
Oh, no. Okay, cool.
And some of those ended up. I actually do know a number of people who have gone big into football now. For example, I remember meeting Didier Drogba's son at a house party that I knew once, and now he plays for Guingamp, I think, in France.
Very
and there are a
random.
bunch of other football players that Conor Gallagher. I remember him. I knew him growing up.
I'm sure some of the viewers will know him as well.
I mean, yeah, if anyone look at his football, you may know these people. You probably do, but I mean, there's a variety of different football players who I grew up with who are now professional football players. So football's like just always been something I'm always interested in. So I always played it, always watched it, always try to like manage it. I play Football Manager games. It's all that kind of thing.
Do you go to live games? Do you enjoy that?
I have been to a number of live games. Yes, yeah.
like the scale. Like, what's the coolest, like the biggest stadium, like sellout crowd, and like what's the hottest memory you have from that?
That is a good question. So I reckon it was probably around late 2000s, early 2010s. When Chelsea were really big, they were obviously had all the money influx and doing really big things. And I went to a Chelsea game that was sold out. I think it was like a FA Cup final or another cup final, something like that. And that was packed. So some kind of cup final. I remember it being. I can't remember what game it was now. For some reason, I can't remember what exactly it was, but it was something along those lines. I just remember thinking, okay, this is huge. Like the whole thing was packed. It was so loud. I remember thinking it was so loud. That kind of stuck with me, I guess.
I mean, football fans, I want to say they are in a way different breed, because when I lived in Scotland, I literally lived the apartment building, and across the street there was like a kind of small-ish size stadium, and they had Sunday games. And it's nice spring, summer, sunny outside, the windows open, and you don't even need to go anywhere. You can just listen by the cheers, by the boos, by the whistles. It is insanely loud. Like the whole city is just transformed, and that's all you hear. It's complete madness.
I mean, anywhere you go in Europe, I do reckon if your football team is winning or has done well that day, the whole city, regardless of whether they like football, will be happy, will be ecstatic.
Flooded,
they lose.
Yeah,
it's not the same.
Okay, the last one on the football. Like, what's the team that you diehard support?
For me, it's a team called Leeds United.
Leeds.
If you are perhaps of the older generations who remember them, they were huge in Europe. My dad's a big supporter of those, so I kind of adopted them over time, just naturally from my dad and my family. And now, even though they're in the lower leagues, they used to be in the top league, but now they're in the lower league again. You still follow them because they've got such a huge fan base all over the world. And yeah, it's more interesting to follow a team, I think, in the lower leagues because it's more of a scrap. It's more you more associate with a team. It's the kind of thing that binds communities together, which is why I think just supporting a team and following one is such a benefit to many people's lives. Really,
I don't think it has to be like the top team or the top league team to follow. Like if it's your local and like you have passed with it and it just doesn't matter, you're just gonna Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, literally exactly the truth. It doesn't matter who it is. Like, it doesn't even need to be near it if you don't want to. Just a team that you identify with. I mean, I've got teams all around Europe that I still identify with. Like, maybe not my complete diehard team, but I keep track of them, for various different reasons, because I just associate with them for the stupidest, silliest of reasons that no one else will understand, but I do. That's how football is for a lot of people, I think, all around Europe and the world.
Absolute last one on the football. I think world wants to know from Major McDonald's. Messi or Ronaldo?
The age-old question, the question that will never die. For me, Messi. I always used to, when Ronaldo played in the Premier League, I used to not like him. I always used to think he dived. I used to think he was just a bit of a cheat. As you get older, you kind of realize, okay, he's a marvelous player as well. But the things Messi can do with the football, the things Messi inspires all over the world. Doesn't matter if you support football or not. You know who this guy is. You know the impact he's had on the world. And you just watch him play with the football. He's magical. Like, it's the kind of raw talent versus hard work argument people always use.
He's having
Messi
fun.
Being a raw talent. Yeah, he's having fun.
Having fun, yeah.
Yeah, in the United States now, he's having great fun. And people still want to watch him no matter how old he is. So for me, it will always be Messi. But I mean, you have to always respect Ronaldo for everything that he's done.
Oh, definitely, yeah. But again, because of the Messi, I think he's the reason why I watch the highlights of their games.
Oh, really?
Because he just makes the plays, even if he's not the one to score. He's gonna be there, and he's gonna be a key player to a pass or whatever. It's fun to watch. It's definitely fun to watch.
And that's why people watch him.
Yeah. Righty then. So as a content creator, we're gonna kind of circle back to your life story, I guess I can say right now. How long have you been a content creator? Like, when did you think, I'm gonna try this? I'm gonna record first video or stream the first video. Sorry, stream the stream.
Yeah, so to the Enlisted, specifically the game, I think it was beginning of 2022. So it's been about 2 years now, actually, funnily enough.
So not earlier, like not any other game that you've started previously?
Well, I was about to come on to that. So when I was a lot younger, and this is probably in my Minecraft, also Roblox era, I actually did used to have a few YouTube channels that I ran, and a few of them I got to around 10K, 15K subs back in the day.
Solid.
And I used to make, what was it? I used to make FIFA content. I used to make Minecraft content, Roblox content, and I did a few different channels and things. So, I didn't come from absolutely nothing when I started in 2022. I knew, the basics. I didn't know. I mean, I was no expert. I was like 13 around this time. I was just fiddling around and hoping for the best. But, it's still just fun to me. And I just felt, once I found, the game Enlisted, I felt, okay, let's go for this. And so I probably started doing content for that one, and properly like sweating it, like learning as much as I could about YouTube and how everything works around it around 2022. And 2 years in, for even not the biggest niche in the absolute world, I'm doing pretty well, I would like to think. If I'm not blowing my own trumpet a bit too much, but it's going well. And it just shows, like, if you put your all into like properly learning something, it does pay off.
You're so good on just catching on the script, because you literally you're just diving into the next sentence I'm about to say about the trumpet and everything. Can you raise a hand and say, I understand it's a job in itself, but have you escaped the 9-to-5 bullcrap?
No, not yet. The dream would obviously be to, but you have to be, I think you have to be very strategic with YouTube in general. If you're really going to commit to try and replace a 9-to-5 like that, it's, you have to be careful with what niche you pick, how you do it. Obviously, you probably have to bring on a bunch of people for your team properly with full-time pay. It's a lot more difficult. I mean, it's by no means is it going to be impossible for Enlisted specifically in the future. I actually do think it will be quite possible in the future.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, indeed. So I mean, that's obviously the dream to try and get to that point. But I mean, I wouldn't go as. I mean, what can I say here? I suppose I would say, I mean, I'm earning a decent amount of money, but no, it doesn't replace a 9 to 5. And it would be a risk of me to assume that it would.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah, I reckon you have to be more in a comfortable place to do so.
But you can definitely say that you are a few steps along the way. You know,
of course.
You're paving the way. You're gonna get there. That's 100%.
That's the. I know if I keep sticking with it, you know, you'll grow, you get more and more, try new things, maybe even expand into other games, just do other things, expand your niche, do different things, and just learn and see what you can accomplish. Really, because obviously, as you've seen from random people on YouTube, the world's your oyster. The biggest content creators often started in one game, ended up just being a personality, and now kind of just use themselves and do whatever.
Yeah.
And they still go back to their roots a lot, but they still do a bunch of other things, and they adapt their content over time to suit whatever they feel like doing. But also, I guess strategically, where's the most opportunity to, ensure the income is there and still make good content. So, but that's obviously not me yet. So that's more of a consideration a bit more for the future, but we would be allowed to say I'm not exploring and learning about those possibilities.
Have you kind of already delve into with other creators, have you considered on adding more games to the library, to the streams, to the YouTube videos, or you're pushing full on for Enlisted right now?
Yeah, so I have considered it. I have been basically every time I open any Discord, even like YouTube comments, you see people like, hey, you should play this game as well. I'd watch this, which is, I mean, they're obviously lovely comments to hear. I do kind of read as much as I can and take them in, like always consider like, maybe he's got a point here. Maybe there is something here. He's right. But at the same time, if you're an up and coming content creator in any space, and you're focusing on a specific niche, you've got to think about how your audience would react to you creating new content, and especially what that new content is. If it's so far away from what your current base is, for example, mine's Enlisted. It's a World War II shooter, right? If I went suddenly into, I don't know, something that's completely random and just not related whatsoever.
F1.
I mean, you can kind of see some F1 links, but I mean, I guess we'll use that as an example. But if I was to go and do that, how would I ensure that my viewers transfer over to that? I mean, could I even ensure that? I mean, I'm sure a large portion of my viewer base might want to watch F1 content, but a large portion equally probably wouldn't. There's no way to test that unless you test it yourself. No way to know for sure unless you do that. But you don't want to damage your image in the minds of other people, and then the algorithm negative sides as well that come with maybe having a video that does poorly because you focus on new content type, and the others now don't want to come back because they're thinking, well, if he's moving over here, I'm not now so interested. It changes a lot. So my honest advice would be, if you try and focus on different type of content, make a new channel for it, see how that goes. And obviously if you become like as a personality quite well known, then you can kind of link the two together yourself, because you're the glue that holds them together. It's not the content type. So yeah, that's what I would do. If I was going to do like another type of game and properly sweat it, I would probably make a new channel and do that. But would I do another game? Maybe I'd focus on a bunch of different games in that second channel. Maybe I'd do history content. Maybe I'd do geography content. Maybe football content. I don't know. I've experimented with a bunch of different possibilities. So yeah, there's so much you could decide to do.
As a fan myself of yours, I can say that you are pretty much in the realm of being the creator that could hook the audience just by who you are, not by the game you play. Because like your interactions in streams and in the chat, the way you talk, the way you guys laugh all the time, the way you like to explain the things in the nicest possible ways, and how people ask you questions, everyone's grateful and thankful, and obviously mods are working, but everything's civilized. And it really feels like that vibe, that especially in the streams, is that you would probably already classify for the creator that could probably just take a freaking NBA game right now. on a PS5 and somehow make your diehard World War II fans entertained. That's how I feel from a sideline.
I mean, yeah, that is high praise. So thank you for that. But I mean, do I have the most confidence in myself that I could suddenly do an NBA 2K game and do it? Probably not. I don't know anything about a little bit about basketball, but hardly anything. It's, I mean, if you are a personality and you do make your content focused around you, which is what I try to do. So regardless, I mean, fingers crossed this never happens at all, but should something bad happen to Enlisted, did something bad happen to any game someone specifically focuses on, I'm not going to be screwed by that point. I don't need to start over. I can bring at least some part of the audience with me to a different thing should I ever need to do that. Hopefully that never happens, and it should never happen. But you have to, it's a foolproof thing to try and keep something going after should the worst happen. So yeah, I mean, if you make myself
like an emergency fund,
then I could start maybe doing an NBA 2K game. I don't know, and start over on a different thing if I wanted to.
And it's funny nowadays. I would bet it will work just for the memes. Like there's so many things in life right now that work just for the memes. And it just works.
I mean, yeah. If you're entertaining, if you have a group of friends that are entertaining, then the stream or your videos, whatever it is, becomes less about the game. I mean, still about the game, but about you as a person, and that's what will keep a lot of people in. That's why all the creators you know them by their name. You don't know them by the games or the things that they necessarily do. You know them by name. Mr. Beast. The Sidemen. KSI. Whoever else, Ryan Trahan even. I don't even know if people even know that name, but no matter who it is, the person. You don't know what they do necessarily. Maybe you do, but you know the person. The person is what keeps you coming back every single time. As long as he's entertaining, he's friendly, he's fun, whatever it is, people will gravitate towards you and you'll gradually grow.
I think you have already answered the question, and I'll try and guess the answer to this one. The question was, which came first, the streaming or the video? But I think it was the video on YouTube that came first.
I thought you were about to say what came first, the snail or the egg. Not the snail or the egg, the chicken or the egg. Don't know why snail came to my mind there. That's just Enlisted Gaijin related.
Yeah.
But yes, it was the videos first for me. I mean, if your follow-up question is going to be why, then I'd always say to any aspiring content creator to never start on Twitch if you have actual intention to try and grow. YouTube has a discovery platform. Twitch does not. Unless you're already at the top or very near the top on Twitch just by naturally being there. For example, if you're number one on Twitch and people want to go and watch something about the game, you're number one for that game, people are going to click on me if I'm number one, or you if you're number one, or whoever is number one, because they think, okay, this person's already got an established following, he's probably well known in the game, whatever reason. There's just more reason to click on you than anybody else on Twitch. But if you're on YouTube, if you package any video well, you sell yourself well, the video is high quality, it doesn't matter how many viewers you really have, people are still going to click on you and explore you, and you'll grow quicker than you would before, and then you can transfer people over to Twitch, for example. That's been the strategy for most creators. Not all, obviously. Some have just naturally grown on Twitch, but most creators, and that's what I'd recommend. If you're trying to focus on gaming especially, you probably would start on YouTube.
Okay, so I feel good about myself now because like years ago, I was fiddling around with YouTube and I was like, I might as well try and Twitch. I think I got to enable subs on my Twitch page and like 105 or 110 or something followers or something. But I don't know, it felt like Twitch is difficult for me, at least. It didn't feel easy. YouTube isn't easy either, but it feels different, like in an easier way. I don't know.
I think they require a lot of different skills. And I think it's quite evident that I do. I know people who don't really do content or maybe don't really watch it might think, oh, they're the same, right? They're not.
Nope.
Some things are related, but a lot of it isn't. For example, on YouTube, you're not live. You could spend however long you want to on whatever tiny little section that you want to. You could script everything. You could fake everything if you wanted to. I mean, I'm not saying that I do, but like just in general, people can. If it's live, you can't do that. Whatever happens, happens.
Exactly.
You can do different things and try and react to it different ways. Like Twitch is all about your reactions, how you interact with people live. YouTube is planned. YouTube can be scripted. I mean, I script all of my YouTube videos. So I don't do any of them off the cuff, unless maybe it's a gameplay video, then maybe I do. But beyond that, all of mine are scripted and planned and have like jokes inserted, have specific things referenced to.
So it makes sense, yeah.
So it's clear, concise, makes sense, and you can take your time with it. And I can say however many times the same line on my script into my microphone and not mess it up. For example, I mess up like maybe like sometimes one line maybe 7 times. I say it in a really weird way, but I want to add some inflection somewhere, some expression, some added emphasis onto a word in that sentence. But if I was live, I couldn't really do that. I mean, I could go back and say it again, but that would be less strange, and you're always present. Like, it's more tiring, I think, Twitch. The longer you go, especially, it's more tiring because I talk throughout all of my streams. People sometimes get annoyed that I talk throughout all of my streams, but that's my selling point. As same point we're just coming back to, like, selling myself. If I'm an entertaining person, I won't be for everybody. I'll never be for everybody, but if I'm talking a lot, then I'm adding value. I'm giving entertainment. I'm not just a game. The game is not just the only focus. And that's kind of obviously the plan. I mean, that was just a rant about other things as well, but I don't know if that answered the question.
It does answer the question. And again, you say you won't be for everyone. And people sometimes say, oh, you talk all the time. But then if you don't, then there's going to be people that say like, oh, like he just says 3 words and then sits for half a minute, zoomed into his game, maybe focusing. You'll never please everyone. But where did the brave decision came from? Okay, I'll start Twitch.
That was a lot of through recommendations and from seeing other people do well. And it maybe for the same reasons as I started YouTube. So when I found this game and I was looking at content creators, I didn't find a whole lot. I only found the main ones you popped up, right? The ones that everybody really knows. You got the Hey Quadros of the world. You had the Enlightened Listeds back then. You had the Zaccharonis back then. But like beyond this, I was struggling to find others because they weren't like established. They weren't being recommended when I just searched enlisted onto YouTube. And not as much anyway. So I thought, okay, there's clearly a gap here. And I feel like my skills, I could make some better content than some of these other guys. I was thinking, not trying to blow my own trumpet or anything, but I was thinking, okay, like what I need to do is just make slightly better than this. If I could do that, then I know I'll grow. There's space here. It's an unsaturated niche, as anyone who sees any of these YouTube ads or like saying, here's how you get successful on YouTube. It's an unsaturated niche. It's one of this it is. You dive into it and it works. That's that's the general idea. And the same thing for Twitch as well. I kind of saw that and thought, okay, there's not a whole lot of people streaming here. Let's try this. And I could, once I build a YouTube audience, which I already had at that point, I was thinking, okay, yeah, surely I can, get near the top of this already. And by the time my first stream, I was at the top of Enlisted's Twitch category. I thought, okay, it waits up from here. And I have grown a decent amount since then. And it just goes on from there.
You've established a viewership on YouTube. I think that's the smart way of doing it, because if people come and watch religiously your videos, they're like, oh yeah, Major just upload it again, because you don't upload that often. Once you upload, they're like flies to a crap. They're like, oh hell yeah, let's go. And then, like, because you see that people enjoy your content, and you think surely some of them are going to come around and watch me doing this over again live, right? So it only makes sense in that way. Following up on this controversial, again, a little bit, why not streaming on YouTube?
Oh, here we go. The quick answer is I don't think YouTube is good enough for streaming right now. That is the short answer. Twitch has better features. It's just better in general for all sorts of things than Twitch. It's better for high quality streaming. It's got more like sub features. You can, for a long period of time, YouTube didn't even have gifted subs, which is a huge portion of Twitch creators' revenue. This is something, I don't know how many people would know this. Gifted subs make up a much larger proportion of your biggest streamer's revenue than ordinary, just straight up subs do. Yeah. And YouTube didn't have that feature for so long. Now it does, I think, but it didn't have it for so long. Yeah.
But I think it doesn't have it for that long. Like it literally, it's relatively new. It's still fresh. Like I think it's like 6 weeks. I think I was watching one of the YouTube. So we'll explain your new features and chat and whatever. And I think there's even a feature where a creator can gift subs. Like it comes like the streamer himself can gift membership, I think, to the viewer like for free, and then they get to use like the emotes and get the badge and whatnot. But yeah, it is really fresh, and in Twitch it has been since like the day one, probably, I imagine, at least.
Yeah, that's not obviously the only feature of that, as you mentioned, is very true, but there are so many other like small nuanced things that just aren't as well thought out as Twitch for some reason. I mean, I fully expect YouTube to take over Twitch at some point. It's no secret, if you've seen any news article, that Twitch is bleeding money from Amazon, who owns it. I think YouTube will take over the space in the near future. So I'm keeping an eye on, keeping tabs on to see what happens. But in my mind,
you'll be fine.
Well, I mean, if you have a good YouTube following, it'll be good as well. But like, there's other reasons as well from other YouTubers who've tried it and see what happens. There's some evidence from some of these big creators that proves that streaming can actually affect your algorithm, because you engage naturally a smaller percentage of your audience through streaming. That just is natural than from a video, because the video is always up there.
Yeah.
And there's all these kind of negative things that could happen. And it's just not perfect yet. People are a bit scared of doing so. People create their own new channels to stream entirely on YouTube if they're going to do that sometimes, because it's not well thought out yet, I don't think, but I think it will be. I think YouTube will dominate the space in the future, and I probably will move over there to stream at some point. I don't know when yet. At least when I'm more confident that it looks a bit better, there's more opportunities for growth there.
Yeah.
But I don't think the answer is yet.
The two features that I wish I had when I stream on YouTube is one is the channel points, which opens a whole lot of opportunities for the viewers to, it's sad to say, entertain themselves while they're watching your stream. Well, they watch my stream, for example. Channel points is great. That's one thing. The second thing is like to raid someone, because the end of the stream comes around and then there's this awkward kind of sudden handbrake where you go like, okay guys, so that's gonna be it, thanks for coming, and I guess bye. And you just literally leave everyone hanging. And it would be so much better if you could just go like, all right, let's just scroll through, see who else is on, let's make someone's day, let's make someone's night, just go there, say hi, and that's so much better than just going like, okay, bye, see you next time.
I mean, as far as I'm aware, YouTube does have like a weird raid feature that's not well thought out, but like it's off by default or something, so most people can't even do it. Most people haven't even realized it's off by default, so you can't even do it. But I mean, more so, the person receiving the raid has it off by default, as in they can't receive them. It was a weird thing that I discovered a while. I don't know if this is fixed. I could be chatting out my own ass, but this was a thing at some point. I don't know, maybe it's fixed now. There were just like small things like this, which obviously like have a massive impact on a streamer's growth. Raiding.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah. I try to raid every single stream when I finish. If there's someone who streams the same game as me, promote them as well. Obviously, if they grow, I grow at the same time. It's kind of how it goes. If the streaming community grows, if the game grows, everyone benefits. But like, yeah, as you say, like when there was some issues with raiding in the past with YouTube as well, it's less ideal to incentivize you to stream on that platform.
Yeah, I've got actually two really good examples. I don't know why it just lives rent-free in my mind. At least the one is, I'm sure you've heard about the Scottish guy Oddboss.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know Oddboss, right? He's like, is he under 250k or something on YouTube subs, right? Back in 2000, and I'm gonna lie right now, but around 17, sitting on a Friday watching Mr. Fly Daily's Friday stream on Twitch. He goes on to raid at the end of the stream Mr. Oddboss. He's absolutely shitting bricks because there's suddenly thousands of people in the stream. And that is the first time when I've seen him and look at him now. I don't know why, but in my mind I want to tie these events together and just how potentially changed his life. And then one of my personal ones, then I'm going to have the same question for you. When I was on Twitch, I wasn't actually playing. Oh, I was actually playing a little bit of Enlisted, but it was War Thunder. And you probably also know a guy named Justin Plays TV.
Yep.
So he once rated me on Twitch. And I was shaking like a leaf, dude. Like it's mad. Like the feeling is crazy. Like I'm used to like I had a good day if it's like 7 viewers, and then there's like 157, and you're like holy, like, and the chat just goes, and you're like, what's going on? The question there, like, have you had, and if yes, then who would be like the biggest raid that you've received, or perhaps if you haven't, then you've probably given a raid to someone else.
Yeah, so I've had a few very big ones actually just from streaming, you network well, and especially when some massive streamers finishing their stream, if they're if they're trying a new game, sometimes they'll consider raiding someone who's playing the same game randomly just to make their day. There's so many who I've met who did this, and this is the whole reason why I stream now. Why I raid now at the end of my streams to give that same level of happiness to whoever else I'm raiding, because you can see if they've got a face cam on anyway. Like the smile just begin when they notice the raid. It's awesome. But yeah, but my first one, my first biggest one, I think was, if I'm not mistaken, was from Helping Hands, who was a big Company of Heroes streamer who was really big at the time, and he gave me a couple hundred, my first one, and that was pretty nuts. And then I think I got a later one from Cotton, even bigger streamer than that, who regularly gets thousands of viewers concurrently. And I think I got one from him, and that was monstrosity. Yeah. That was a complete mess. But yeah, it's rare that you get these because they've got so many people to pick from, and maybe they even pick people who are not me. Maybe they pick people who have smaller viewer counts to promote them. So it's even rarer to get much bigger people than me raiding me, I suppose. But yeah, it regardless of who it is, no matter like what their viewer count is, like seeing a raid and come in, it always makes you smile. So
it's such a wholesome feature, actually, if you think about it. Like you can do so much with it, and for some people, even if it's the 10, the 20, the 30 that you're gonna drop on him, like maybe for someone that's huge, and it's just all about perspective. So that's a really, really cool feature. I think that if YouTube wants to take over Twitch, they need to eyeball left and right and see the good things that Twitch is doing.
They need to make it better. Yeah, that's for sure. There's so many things, right. Like as I said before, just that YouTube, once it gets into place, YouTube will be the place for streaming. They just haven't done it yet.
You are a owner, a leader. You run a very, very well-oiled and I want to say successful and well thought out Discord server with around 3K members. Right.
Yeah, close to 3.5 now, I think.
I absolutely admire the mechanics of the Discord, the features that exist that I hadn't even imagined those things exist. Like my Discord compared to your Discord looks like a World War II dugout. I like after like 3 years the war has ended and it's like grass growing over and no one's there. Like that is how my Discord looks.
You've been a bit harsh on yourself there. Yeah, your Discord looks alright. I don't know why.
And I go into your Discord and I'm like, holy crap, am I in Tokyo? What's going on here? Like it's crazy. How do you manage, first of all, like the Discord, and how do you manage your time in general between the recording, editing, streaming, Discord stuff? There's probably the editor management and all that stuff. First things first, how do you manage the Discord? You've got a lot of helpers, I imagine.
Yeah, so when I started the Discord, I had no intention of, at the very start anyway, of growing it to like this extent, like properly going for it to this extent that I guess I ended up doing. But there's a lot of benefits to doing so. But the managing time is hard. You end up spending a lot of time on the Discord to solve random issues, to help people. Also, like just for the people who, as you mentioned, do help me out, I try to be active for them as well, like get on and talk to them and do whatever. Like, I mean, I would do anyway, but I do probably perhaps more than I would because they help me. So I want to like talk to them a lot and make sure they're okay. But yeah, I treat the Discord as basically my home for everything. If you want anything to do with me in a more, that sounds a bit weird to say, but anything to do with me in a more personal capacity or any just something more of me, that's where you'd go. There's no other place to go. That's where you'd go. That's how I treat it. And not only that, but I treat it I make sure it has multiple purposes. So what we've currently got is the biggest enlisted Discord server. It's not the official one, community server. And it's got a reputation for being, once again, I might blow my own trumpet here, but perhaps maybe has a better reputation than maybe the main server. I don't know. I mean, I think it that way. Maybe I'm biased, but because it is mine after all.
You have to be biased for yourself. You
have to be to some degree. And if I make sure it's sold that way, I try to integrate important people in the community, like the official helpers, the alpha testers, the maybe even some devs, maybe like other people who are just relatively important for the game. Make them all try and get in there and talk and be involved. It makes it much more of an attractive destination for people who aren't even focused on me. So it grows for multiple reasons. And there's so many like really small strategies that I've done as a result to try and grow this thing. And they've all like worked. I mean, I could sit here for like hours and talk about them, but like very, very small nuanced things that I've done to help grow it. And then the staff team as well. I try to run that a bit more professionally, like almost as if it was a business. So, I mean, not like it's wholly that way, but more of an informal way, but like in that kind of structure. So, we do staff applications, people who want to just get involved in the community a bit more, who see me in Discord, maybe want to talk to me a bit more, maybe just want to help out because they just like the community we've got. Maybe they like Enlisted, maybe they like just, I don't know, me, any reason. They can apply, and then we do a filter process, and then we do like a proper induction for them, like a whole kind of set of few hours aside to explain the processes. Other people join in, and then like they work themselves up the ladder as they learn. So like start with junior, then they go to mod, and they go to senior. Then at different levels, they have different levels of trust and different permissions and different extra benefits that I think work well. And you may not see in other Discord servers for staff. So I try to make it just as desirable as possible. And that seems to be working to some extent. And as a result, we've got some fantastic staff members that help me so much with all of that. Like they do so much of that. Like when I'm not online or when I'm busy editing a video when I can't always be on 24/7, they're helping with so much with that, making it the place to be for all sorts of reasons. And yeah, it's all there. Like even like to do with Patreon and YouTube channel membership stuff, all of that is on the Discord, hidden away until unless you can have that. But it kind of, I have so many small strategies to make people want to join it and then to incentivize them to stick around because they get something out of it.
To make it worth it.
To make it worth it.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's probably the secret as to why it's literally grown insanely quickly. Like I had no idea it would grow. Like it's perhaps my biggest shock that it's grown that quickly, more so than perhaps my YouTube and Twitch. So yeah, I guess it just works what I'm doing. So I'll keep doing it and keep trying to improve it.
Nice. Yeah. Like that, like if for the people that think that Discord might not be that much of a big deal or it's not going to get you anywhere, look at me right now talking to you, because without the Discord, like I have it, like I would literally go to YouTube bio, look for an official business email, and I'd have to freaking email you just to try or tweet. I don't tweet Twitter. Do you use Twitter? Do you have a Twitter?
I every now and then, but I do have Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I would just be like this felt like the most direct and easiest way to actually get in touch. So that has definitely worked out really well. Right. And what makes you happier? Like when you wake up in the morning, what makes you happier? A scheduled stream on Twitch or a good idea for a video recording?
What a question. Oh my God, that is a whopper of a question, that one. That is, I mean, the obvious answer that came to me for that one would probably be a good idea for YouTube. Because having a Twitch stream, I mean, if I wanted to, I could just make more of them. But if I made too many of them, I'd burn myself out. So there's a reason I don't do them every single day. I have to space them out with like a day break in between, usually so I can spend it editing a video or doing something. But the idea, when I know a video idea is going to work, when I know I have a good title, when I know I have like a plan of editing in my mind, I'm very confident. It makes me like, okay, let's just dive straight into it. I don't think about that, oh, it's going to take me ages. I think, oh, let's just go. Let's just do it. I know it's going to be good. So yeah, for me, it'd be the YouTube video. But I mean, if I have a special thing to do on stream that day, then it could be the stream. But normally it's YouTube video, I think.
I see how it works. I see how it could be that way, because like the golden ideas of the videos for YouTube, they just come around every now and then. But like as you said, you could, if you would want it, you could do 2 streams. Well, I don't know the time schedules or whatever you do your free time, but like you could stream morning and afternoon and whatnot, every day if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. So that's a very fair answer.
Yeah, is this because it's rarer? Obviously, scarcity creates value. Most people probably know that saying. So when you have a good idea, I mean, the biggest YouTubers in the world, they don't produce videos every single day normally. Sometimes they do if they've got a massive team. But those who don't have a big team, you'll notice they produce scarce, like they don't make many videos because they wait for the banger idea. Once they've got that banger idea, you know, like in their mind that they're thinking, oh, let's just do it. Let's just get on with it.
It's just going to work, yeah. But then again, I will agree on that one for the established creators. If they have this rarity factor on their uploads, it for me at least, it almost gives like a more excitement, because it doesn't happen that often that someone uploads, and when they finally do, you're like, okay, I'll definitely find time to watch this. Mm-hmm. So I guess that comes as a little bonus. The next thing, starting to slowly to reach our finish line here today, let's talk a little bit about success. With near enough 15,000 subscribers, I believe, on YouTube, just under 2,000 followers on Twitch, I'm sure it is. Yeah, I think so. Take me through a process as much as you want in the detail, because I'm not going to ask you all of your secrets here, and I don't expect you to give me
the hidden secrets.
First of all, you will explain me what does it feel like to be the first ever enlisted tournament winner. The second of all, what goes behind the scenes to organize this? What's important? How does that come together?
Yeah, so that was an interesting thing to have happened for the enlisted scene. So a different content creator made a tournament. He decided to, hey, this is interesting. I mean, I was always considering to host a tournament like that, but he did it first. I didn't think there was enough features in the game yet to do it, so I didn't, but I guess he went straight for it. And I thought, okay, partially strategic, but also partially because I'm just interested in it. Like, okay, think about it. One, if I can win this, do you understand how good this would be for my own content? If I could sell this,
mad.
I mean, I'd milk it a little bit. Like you have to exaggerate and make jokes out of it. Like, I'm not claiming to be the best player in the entire world, but we did win the tournament. So that is always something I can say. Like no one could take that away from me.
It literally gives you a right to start every single YouTuber saying like, "What's up, guys? This is MajorMcDonald, your one, first, and only enlisted champion. How are you all today?" Like, it literally gives you the rights of having like a freaking the freaking name tag here, like the first enlisted tournament champion, and currently still the only one.
Still the only one until the next tournament happens.
Yeah.
I have a funny feeling I might have a hand in organizing the second one, so I might not be able to compete. But I think the authority that comes with just winning one of them for the sake of like content, for the sake of just growing your brand is ridiculous. But I mean, that whole tournament, I just felt like, okay, not just that strategy aspects, but also like I've always been interested in esports. I've always loved the tactics. That part comes from football, which you discussed earlier. Being a manager and that kind of thing, coming up with ideas. And because I already knew this game like the back of my hand at this point, I was thinking, okay, there are there might be a few people who are better than me or in a position to understand and create better ideas for this tournament than I am. There were a few, and some of them did enter, but they didn't win. So
at the end of the day, everyone's going to remember the winner, not the organizer.
Exactly. Who remembers the second place? No one remembers second place. But I actually did tryouts on my Discord server. Another thing I use a Discord server for. Once again, it all ties in again. We did like competitive events to try and find a team. I had already some people who helping me on the Discord server who helps me with that and like picking players as a result, and eventually came to the top 10. I organized a practice scrimmage match, a set of matches with another team in the tournament to play before, to get another advantage, test the maps out. We did like a strategy planning session, literally the day before, like planning where we build rally points, where we build AA guns, where we flank.
Because the maps were like everyone knew the maps, right?
Yeah, everyone knew the maps, but no one had. I don't expect anyone to have had the same strats as we did, and I would still go out as far to say, like, even if we didn't have as good strats as we did, we probably still would have won the tournament, but we wouldn't have won it as comfortably as we did without the strats. I think our team was just the best.
What's comfortable?
Comfortable is we lost only one game the entire tournament. We won every single other one.
As long as it's not the last one.
Yeah, it wasn't the last one, no. We lost only one game the entire tournament, and that was to a team we weren't even expected to lose to. We beat the team we were expected to get demolished by. We comfortably beat them 2-0. Like, it was hardly even a contest. I mean, the first one was a contest. The second one became a lot easier for us at that point. We might have had mental advantage at that point because we weren't expected to win the first one.
I think it does. Like, if you're like 1-0 down, it's gonna go through your fingers. It's gonna be stress and a heartbeat up, like, because you can't afford to fumble anymore.
I mean, I led the team during this. I tried to make sure, even after we lost one game in the final. That was when we lost. It was best of fives. We still came out 3-1 in the end, but like that loss could have derailed everybody. Like, people were getting stressed in the VC we had. People were getting actually like, okay, what imagine that. I imagine we felt the exact same as the team we were expected to lose to, who we beat early in the tournament, felt. And I was like, okay, I'm not letting this happen. I had to rally the troops, get back up. And I mean, it was just a really fun experience. It wasn't a super long experience, but it was super fun. Like, it has a legacy now. There's a video on YouTube that I made, like a documentary about it, which is done really well. So
I've seen that.
A lot of people have told me they've seen that. So that's why I'm making another one right now. But I mean, about a different thing. But there you
go. For the next tournament, I can apply either for a broadcasting side of a person, because I'm very average at the game, or I can be or I can be a pilot. That's as far as I'll go, because my aim is a potato. Absolutely.
Everybody has to start their aim from a potato. I mean, to be fair, like, I never really played FPS games until before I enlisted. I mean, I told you I played like Minecraft. I played
same.
Roblox. I mean, you have to aim to some degree in those, but like, not a whole lot. And then I just came to the game and I'm decent at it.
Yeah, like, for me, like, it all kind of started with War Thunder, obviously tanks. Therefore, enlisted tanks is like, I feel at home. I always wanted to fly in War Thunder, but there was always so many people that were so much better than me. It's third person and it's different. And then I tried the sim, and it's impossible to stay in the sky and to tell who's enemy and who's not. So you get TK'd and banned and all that goodness. And then Enlisted came around. I was like, okay, so this is going to be probably the same crap show as War Thunder, flying from the cockpit. And it just feels, yes, probably much more arcadey, but like I just feel insanely comfortable with the controls and how it works. It's totally different world than any of the War Thunder's modes. So I'll just stick with the vehicles and or as I said, like if it's like a big thing and we're like broadcasting across platforms and there's commentators and stuff like that, I want to sign up for that.
I mean, that's the dream. Like
I'll wear a shirt if I need to.
Yeah, proper shirt, whole suit maybe.
Yeah. I'll get a mic that I need to hold in hand.
Yeah, one of those. Yeah,
and it's just an absolute pleasure. Extremely like humble and amazing conversation with you. If anyone has taken something from this conversation, I hope it's to stick with it, to don't give up, keep up the work, be smart about what you're doing. As my script says, humble personality, great sense of humor, and exceptionally positive attitude towards new players in chat, in comments, and just in streams. And all in all, ladies and gentlemen, Major McDonald's.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. It was a good time.
That was really good. That was really good. Yeah. Now it's. I'm going to say, look at this camera, look at that camera, look at that camera. Like the what's the hot ones from the hot wings? You know the show they eat hot wings with celebrities.
Oh wait, yes, yeah,
on YouTube.
Yeah,
So at the end of the road, when they get through, they were like, look at this camera, that camera. Now is your time to shine, and just what's going on in your life. What is something that people can look forward to? Obviously, the streams and YouTube videos. We know there's some big things coming from you as you've been going about with your own trumpet. Just tell people what they need to, what's coming up from you in the near future.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that I have planned to... As far as I can say. There's a number of things that I can't say, but will be very relevant, especially if you're an enlisted or War Thunder player. Very relevant. But I can't say those yet until they're finalized, even though it's taking me ages to be able to finalize them, but outside of my control. But what can I do? In terms of, the content specifically, I hope to just never stop that and just keep improving that all the time, keep growing the community, hopefully get the aim is to get the biggest enlisted community, we're already almost there, around the world, and just to grow in other respects and interact more with people, learn new things, hopefully help other people learn new things about the game, about whatever else in life, maybe, if I have any authority to talk about life. So, yeah, short answer is hopefully some big things coming soon. I know there are some big things coming soon. You just have to wait to find out.
That's exactly, like, a little bit of attention is all we needed. Obviously, all the links, the YouTube, the Twitch, the Discord is all going to be down in the description, which I'm going to steal from your video descriptions. And so, yeah, the people that didn't know you have the Discord for some reason, they have a chance to go there and see, and perhaps even, chat with you in person, which is cool in itself. And that is all we have today, and it's weirdly spot on around an hour.
Oh, nice. Perfect time.
Yeah, it was great, dude. That was I'm gonna throw my pen away. That was sick, dude. That was really good. I very much enjoyed it.